Let me just explain why I decided to do this journey. In the early years, when I was really practicing my development, meditation was a tool that absolutely changed my life. And when I first started a meditation practice, those years ago, so many years ago, 27 years old, I'm 54 now, so do the math. Um, I remember how it was difficult to begin a meditation journey. And I remember that moment where I stayed consistent with it. And I actually had a mentor tell me that, 15 minutes of meditation every day will change your days, 30 minutes of meditation every day will change your life. And my goal was to sit in meditation for 30 minutes every day. And as I deepened my practice, I allowed myself to sit in meditation spaces for as long as I needed to, whether that be 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it was. I didn't time them. I fell in love with the meditation journey, and meditation absolutely did change my life. It changed my whole pathway. It changed everything for me, in the way that I manifested, in the way that I saw myself, in the way that I grew as a human being, in my compassion and my anxiety and my fears. It was really powerful. And I find myself a lot preaching meditation to my clients, but I myself have fallen off of a consistency in a meditation practice. And I've been feeling really called to do it again. And it's funny because when something is moving through your life, you do see it marrying out into the world. And a lot of my clients, have been saying to me that I really need to get more consistent. I really should be meditation. I really should be meditating. I really need to be more consistent in my journey. And I'm like, the thing is that meditation isn't a thing that we want to check off of our to-do list, right? Meditation is that thing that we want to fall in love with, because when you fall in love with the practice of meditation, everything changes. The way that you approach it changes. The way that fits into your day changes. And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh my God, I'm so busy. Life is just too busy to actually meditate in the morning." And I have found that when I meditate, it actually makes more room in my day. And so this challenge, this 30-day challenge that I'm posting here, is for me, and it's also for you. It's for me to share my experiences raw, unedited with you, and in hopes that you want your own experiences, you want your own journey, you want to fall in love with meditation yourself. So here it goes. First day of meditation, I sat down at about 1:18 in the afternoon, feeling really, really tired, and so I decided I was going to lay down. And I could feel myself starting to drift off to sleep, so I sat back up. And it was funny because I was very, very uncomfortable, right? There's a lot going on in my personal life. I am taking care of my elder parents, and there was a situation this morning. And there's some other stuff happening in my personal life that, as I sat there and started to get quiet, the anxiety of those thoughts and the things beyond what I was going to do after the meditation started happening. And what I decided to do is I decided to let all of those thoughts be present. I decided not to speak to them. I decided not to try to push them away. I just gave myself and them permission to exist. And I concentrated on my breathing, feeling very, very uncomfortable. And at some point, I had forgotten to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I got interrupted with a phone call. It kind of snapped me out as I was starting to get into meditation. At that point, it was 1:26. So I got up, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I went back into the meditation process, and I went right in. As I started to close my eyes, I could feel move from this beta brainwave more into an alpha brainwave. And I could start to see the shapes forming before my eyes. Sometimes, I know this, sometimes the meditation, every single meditation journey is going to be different. Sometimes it's just going to be staring at blank space for a little while. And sometimes it's a lot more deeper and more symbolic, and might not actually happen to be symbolic today. Because I started to see those familiar shapes, you know, forming as I started to deepen into the meditation. And then I saw an image of what looks to me as Archangel Michael. I just welcomed my spirit team. I welcomed in the pink light. I welcomed in the divine experience. And next thing you know, I had a vision of this hill, a road. It was a pathway up a hill, and there was lots of cars coming up on it. And there was all those like orange cones and yield signs and caution signs as they were going up the hill. And I could only surmise that to mean that, like, as we're moving in an elevation journey, when we are moving towards an elevation journey, is don't try to rush it, right? Move slow. I saw speed limit signs that said 35, and like then I saw like the yellow caution flags, and for me it was like, move slow up this hill, move slow up this hill. And I actually was able to follow the hill until I got to a straightway path. It kind of curved, but there was still construction. There was lots of construction, and then the path opened up wide. And then all of a sudden I ended up in a city, and it was like we were jammed and locked. And there was still movement though. And I feel like this was a divine reminder that when we're in a journey of movement and things are not moving as quickly or as fast as we want them to move, and that construction is happening all around us, when things feel like, you know, there's always something for us to face, always something for us to see, it's because we're in a process of growth in that moment. But the journey's still moving forward. We're still moving forward. We're still in momentum. It's a reminder that we don't have to go too fast. That where we are is exactly where we need to be. And we can face the construction. We can know that the construction is building something better for us. And then we just keep going. This meditation journey only lasted me 11 minutes. And it felt like I was kind of there in a lifetime. It's funny because as I was coming out of meditation, it was almost like I could see my ceiling in my room, and I could actually see like the curtains on my window. And my eyes, where it was deep in meditation, I wasn't seeing my room from the physical eyes. I was seeing it from the perspective of my third eye. I was very present in that space. And I was able to wake up in that space feeling safe, grounded, and ready to share with you.